Hey guys, Pastor Andrew here in front of the nurseries at Grace, and we want to thank you for being a nursery worker and for making our nurseries possible. We honestly couldn't do it without your help, and that's what this video is about, is I want to ask for your help with some specific things. Nursery ministry here at Grace is growing. That's a good thing. Thankfully, we've got the new nurseries to facilitate that growth. We've also got some new volunteers that have been recruited, which we're thankful for that. We have new families every single week who are coming to Grace and putting their kids in the nurseries. Along with that growth means that we have more workers that are needed. And so my wife, Charity's done a great job of being able to recruit new workers and being able to fill that schedule as needed. But one of the difficulties that we found, especially with working exclusively with volunteers, is that we have very little leverage when it comes to those volunteers not showing up and keeping that monthly commitment to be in the nursery ministry. And so this is why we're asking for your help specifically, because in all honesty, we have more weekly call-ins for the nursery than for any other ministry here at Grace. I'm over most of the volunteer ministries, and so I know this firsthand. And on multiple weeks, we've had even all volunteers who have called in not to be here. Sometimes it's been multiple months that have gone by where there's not been a week that's gone by without someone calling in. And so I just want to remind you, nursery ministry is a monthly commitment, once a month. It's on the same week every month for you on the schedule. And so helping us by keeping that commitment is so very huge. And I totally get it. Maybe it's because that maybe it's not your primary ministry as to why you can't always be in place. Many of you are involved in multiple areas. For some, it might be because you realize that we have new and additional volunteers on the schedule, and so you feel like you're not as needed, or it doesn't make as big of an impact if you're not here. Or maybe for many, it's just that there is a legitimate excuse why you can't be here. Sometimes that happens. We totally get it. Things come up, and we try to be understanding of that. But let's be honest, I have to live with the nursery coordinator, and I need you guys to make it easy on me, okay? Well, in all seriousness, Charity's done a great job of being gracious and kind and doing everything she can to make the ministry run smoothly. But I do need your help, because it does make it very difficult for both her and other ladies who have to fill in last minute to be able to fill the gaps when people aren't here that are scheduled on a weekly basis. So I'm asking for your help in a couple different areas, okay? Number one, to remember the expectations, and number two, I want to inform you of some current needs. The expectations for nursery workers are pretty simple, and here's the top three. Number one, just fulfilling your monthly commitment that you're scheduled for. That's the same Sunday of every month, so if you're on the third week, that means you're on the third Sunday every month. We email that list to you. We send you texts a couple days in advance so that you're in the know that it's your week. And then the second thing is as far as expectations, is simply being in place by 30 minutes before your scheduled service. Check-in for both Grace Kids and for the nursery opens 30 minutes before each service. And so it's got to be very awkward, and sometimes even the worst thing that can happen here at Grace on a Sunday morning is when we have guest parents who are waiting because they don't have workers in place ready to receive their children into the nursery. And so it's a good reminder that the expectation for all Sunday workers, whether that's a greeter or an usher or a Grace Kids volunteer, is that they be in place 30 minutes before the service. And so we need the nursery ministry volunteers to be fulfilling that expectation as well. And we still have nursery workers who sometimes are not coming in till 5 minutes before the service, 10 minutes before the service, or even when the service start time is happening. And that just is not conducive for an effective and remarkable ministry and being able to make everyone be able to fulfill their role. The third expectation is just letting Charity know at least 24 hours in advance if you can't fulfill your scheduled commitment. When you receive that text reminder a couple of days in advance, if you can't be there, we simply ask that you try to find your own replacement by switching with someone on the schedule for a different week, and then inform Charity of that switch. If you can't find someone and we find a switch for you, then it's very likely that we may also ask you to switch with someone else as needed for that month, so that other ladies aren't having to pull double in the nursery throughout the month. The second thing is this. We want you to keep those expectations. Just be here, be 30 minutes early, and let Charity know what's going on. But the second thing is just to inform you of some current needs. The things we need are two. Number one, we need some new volunteers to continue filling up the schedule to effectively minister in both of our nurseries. And so if you know someone, by all means let us know or point them to our direction. And we need couples. I mean, we have some couples that already serve together in the nursery, do a phenomenal job. And if you are someone who would like to work with your spouse in the nursery, let us know. We'd love to get you plugged in that way. We also need some new coordinators and check-in attendants, because for each service, we need people to serve in both of those areas. And if this is an area where you say, hey, I would love to invest my time and maybe even my primary ministry ministry be in helping with the nursery? We need some people who would be willing to step up and help coordinate a service and oversee that. We need some people who would be willing to help the additional check-in attendance, because the truth is we have legitimate needs to take our ministry and the nursery to the next level, but we have to have the personnel to do it. And so if you're someone who's passionate about helping take our nursery to the next level, let me know, let my wife know. We'd be glad to share with you more details about what that looks like. Again, nursery workers, thanks for all you do. Let's remember that serving in the nursery is not a burden to bear. It's actually a privilege to spiritually minister to both kids and their families and allow God to do a work in their lives each Sunday here at Grace. If you have any questions, any needs, as always, let me or my wife know. We love you guys. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.